Well, according to the New York Times, mating with shorter people is a step toward a greener planet, since smaller individuals are inherent conservationists. Interesting. Now, again, this is a New York Times op-ed. However, let's be honest. How does the Overton window work? We're going to throw out trial balloons by politicians. We're going to write ridiculous articles. Mind you, New York Times is also the place that we told you about months ago, who is telling you that you're going to eat bugs. You're going to like it, right? We're going to be I don't think New York Times did that. Maybe they did, but they were talking about how it's going to be good to be a cannibal. That's what it was. So excuse me. But first off, Brandon Gentile here. Thank you for coming to this edition of what's new in the world today, what's going on, what is crazy, not financial advice, freedom advice, and Band-Aids on bullet holes. This is, I think, thinking of starting a new podcast called Band-Aids on bullet holes, because my fascination is with, for some reason, society loves the symptom. They love treating the symptom. That's the culture we live in. We're going to just throw pills at it. We're just going to fight in the Coliseum here, red and blue. We're going to think about all the symptoms. Why do we have so many familial problems? Why is a family being degraded? Well, I don't know. Let's just incentivize them through a tax over here, and we're going to, that'll change the family around. And it's, the tail wagging the dog at the end of the day. Why don't we get to the core issues? Why don't we get to the core of the problems? And this is where and why I have been led to Bitcoin. That is my origin story, I guess, if you will, at the end of the day, because politics, I was in that for 10 years. It was just, absolute insanity, trying to just fight back and forth. It doesn't matter what side you're on. No one's listening to each other. All the politicians lie. It's a uniparty. We have the two-party system. Washington said don't do. We have the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us against. We have Woodrow Wilson creating the Council on Foreign Relations, creating the Federal Reserve, and being in on some of the most egregious atrocities in American government. All these entitlements, the New Deal, Lyndon Johnson, welfare, the Great Society, all this spending other people's money to give it away and redistribute to other people, thinking, if we just feed all the animals at the zoo, they'll somehow become self-sufficient. Well, we know that scientifically, if you go and just keep giving people things, that makes them worse. That makes them more dependent. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I think we just hit on something. They want you dependent. That's the point. If we solved these problems, then politicians wouldn't have a job. Now we're onto something. That's why they want you dependent. That's why they want me dependent. That's why they want us dependent. And we like it. We like it, don't we? We like that fake security. We like thinking, oh, you know what? There's a safety net down there for me. It might be, $100 a month, but I live on it somehow, even though prices are going through the roof. A gallon of gas will soon be $100 a month in a couple of years, or $100 a gallon. But you know what? I'll somehow make it. Someone will pay it off for me. Someone will pay off my student debt. Someone will pay off my house, which I, a number of years ago, said will happen. 10 years ago, I said they will pay off student debts. I need to go back and look in some of my journals and post them online, because I wrote about, and I wasn't publishing a blog at the time, and though I had started for a year or two and then stopped because of life issues or circumstances. But I had said, and I told my wife actually, that they're going to pay off student loans. That's going to be a thing that just gets absolved at some point and just dissolves. And here we are 10 years later, because you can see the writing on the wall. They're already talking, and I said they pay for college as well. And that actually started coming first by the end of Obama's last term. They were talking about paying for college. I think they already started doing it, paying for community college. Someone in here can comment if that's the case. But end of Obama's term, they were paying for community college, like 2 years or something like that, or at least aiding it, stuff like that. So anyway, the whole point was, you can see these things. If you have your ear to the ground just a little bit, you can see the writing on the wall, what's going on. In that last 10 years, I was starting to see how the money worked. The first 10 years, 2000 to 2010, I saw how politics worked. And then 2010 to the present day, I learned how money worked. And then once you can't understand one without the other, but at the end of the day, if you have to understand money, that's the 51 to 49. You have to understand money to understand politics and what's going on. That is truly the dog wagging the tail. The money at the top, the central banks, the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF, they wag everything else. The politicians are just puppets down here, way down below, just above us, and they're the ones. They're just the puppets that kind of get the heat. They take all the heat for the 1% of 1%, the unproductive class at the top. So there's that's how this works. The corrupt currency and money system. By the way, if you like what we talk about here and questioning everything with boldness, and trying to shoot down the middle with our laser eyes, please like and subscribe. Please share this video out. Again, we are committed in 2023 to really kind of doing more content, but also doing it better, creating better videos. Probably going to use my camera here as well, and won't be using the computer camera as much anymore, but trying to give a better product in different ways and kind of test different things out. So anyway, fixing the money fixes this, right? At the end of the day, this is insanity. I mean, like, what are you guys talking about? Why are we talking about eating people, eating bugs? It's all because if you go back to the Club of Rome, and you go back to the 2009 letter that I just saw the other day from Bill Gates and all these people, you know, population going down is what these people want. This is eugenics 100 years ago. They want to create superior race, and they think the planet's going to blow up if we have 1 more billion people, if we have, you know, 8 billion instead of 9 billion. They think the planet's going to blow up. I don't think they realize that God thought of all this already. You know, he's the big elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about. Guys, you know, we're building the Tower of Babel here. This is absolute insanity. You know, we're trying to, you know, clone, you know, sheep and humans in artificial wombs and stuff. And guys, we're building the Tower of Babel. Like, what are we doing here at the end of the day? Just focus on providing products. Bill, just focus on Microsoft, for crying out loud. Focus on Microsoft providing unbelievable tech for us. Warren, you do what you do. I don't know. You've been running this fiat game for, you know, damn near 90 years or whatever it is. Just keep providing your investor return, providing great dividends for them, so that way they can hopefully get out of the rat race. And this is where Bitcoin comes in. You save in a deflationary money. Your life gets cheaper over time, and you can get off that rat wheel, that rat race, and get into what it is you want to do. What are you called to do? What is in your heart of hearts at the end of the day? That's what this is about. Not, you know, oh, we have a greener planet just by mating with shorter people. What in the literal HE double hockey sticks are we talking about? I mean, the fact that someone can even write this with a straight face, and then the editors, yeah, sure, go do that. Yeah, that sounds great. It's the Overton window. The Overton window. It's moving society, moving the narrative, like Klaus Schwab says. I got to find the book over here, The Great Reset, and they just came out with The Great Narrative. It's about shifting the narrative. This is everything. This is ESG, it's climate, it's everything. It's how can they create a big enough problem the world needs to galvanize around. This is a Club of Rome. Everyone, all the jets flying to Davos, spewing carbon emissions. If it was really that big of a deal, why y'all flying jets and living on the coast? Clearly, it's not that big of a deal. But hey, you know, who am I? Who am I? The guy just questioning why, right? Trust but verify. Get independent. Get resilient. Start removing yourself from the system. Operate in the parallel system. Remove the power they have. Once you remove yourself from the fiat system and start operating in the Bitcoin world, literally a completely separate parallel system, you literally take power from them. Vote with your feet. Vote with your money. It's a peaceful revolution. Then this kind of crap goes away. Because guess what? You don't get funded. When there's not fake currency that gets stolen from you through inflation, these things don't exist anymore. In the New York Times, these people are funded, you know, by massive families. You know, these colonialist families, right? We're going to try to be politically correct here. Generation after generation, these people living off the hog, but they get subsidized. I mean, so many of these companies get subsidized. Like, you know, how does CNN? How are these people operating anymore? They're running at a loss because they're losing. They have no viewership. How are they running all the time? Well, they're the mouthpiece, so they're going to get their money. Don't believe me. The George Soros of the world, or whoever it is, you know, the Koch brothers and the Soroses and all these people, they're going to fund all these megaphones because those guys at the top, they want that narrative to the sheep being, you know, okay, look over here, look over there, and we're going to tell you how long to look at it. That's all that's going on at the end of the day, right? So you have to understand the game and be able to see through what's going on. And if you don't have the filter set up, your collectivist filter, your communist, you know, Marxist filter, it's going to be very hard to see what's going on in the world. You're going to be like, oh, I don't know, they have the best intentions at heart for me and my life. No, they don't. These people just want power. They want to depopulate the earth. What does that mean? It means you're gone. That means you gone. Your family's gone. We're gone. That's what that means. In what sane world would you want less human beings, less of God's greatest gift to earth? Let's end on that note, actually. In what sane world, what sane individuals, humans, would think, you know, I want less humans, less people on this earth. God's highest form of creation, the best thing that the universe has ever seen. Incredible. Incredible. It's a rhetorical question. clearly. I appreciate your time and energy. This just ticks me off. Even the fact that I even had to read this headline and see this and then go into this, and I'm not going to read the articles, of course. You got to pay for this. No, who's paying for this? Literally, who's paying for this stuff? I don't know a single person paying for the New York Times to read this kind of drivel. Anyway, appreciate your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. Please trade your finite time for the only other finite asset I know of, Bitcoin, and remove yourself from the system so you remove the power from the corrupt, broken, sinking fiat Titanic that's going down, that funds things like this. They inflate the currency, debasing it, sending it to Ukraine, funding wars, killing people, funding narrative megaphones to tell you what to do only through this. If you have Bitcoin and it's a deflationary currency, they then have to provide a great business, New York Times does, or they go out of business, or they're gone. And if you want to go to war and kill a bunch of people, you have to have the sign-off in the capital from the people. They have to sign off on it and say, yes, I agree, we're going to do this. But in an inflationary fiat system, they don't have to do anything. They just push a button on the computer, print out a bunch of currency, type up a bunch of currency in it with a stroke of a key, boom, off to Zelensky. See ya, off to Afghanistan. All right, I'm tired. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time and energy. Let me get off my soapbox. Please share this. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Please let me know what you'd like to see, what you don't like. And please share, again, with someone that you think might get something out of this, or maybe not. We can fight it out in the comments. This is not financial advice. This is freedom advice. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.